You look better.
No, you look good. Okay, fine. Hey,
Oh,
welcome.
yeah.
How are you doing, Jonathan?
I am good, but that has got to be edited out.
No. We
What?
both look good. We know it. Hey, this week on Life as We Know It, we're going to do a few things. We're going to take a local shout out to a local barbershop over in Manhattan Beach called Svelte Barbershop and Essentials. I met with the Yankin, the owner, and Gorky, who actually cut my hair. See how good it looks.
Wow.
So we're going to have a quick visit with them, shout them out, and let you know about some local business doing some good stuff. We're also going to dive in and unpack Ozempic. It's a bit of a controversial drug these days. Jonathan's going to give us some education on it, I think, and I've done a little research myself. So we're going to unpack it and talk about it. And finally, we're being visited by the mayor of everywhere. I know we've all been missing him greatly, and I'm sure he has a lot to share with us.
The great return of the mayor of everywhere.
Yes. So hold tight. We'll be right back, and we'll be back soon. Sorry. Hold tight. We'll be right back, and I'll stop there. Welcome to Life as We Know It. You can find us on Instagram at Life as We Know It Podcast 123, on YouTube at Life as We Know It, Jonathan and Don, and wherever amazing podcasts are found. So, Jonathan, how are you? How you doing?
Let's see. I'm feeling like $2 million.
$2 million.
Feeling great. How about you?
I'm good. It's hot. It's hot.
I like the heat. I'm like a lizard on a rock, baby.
I do. I love it too. So I'm not going to complain about it. So I'm happy about it. We should enjoy summer as far and as long as we possibly can, because all the retailers, like I said before, are trying to make us believe Christmas is around the corner, and I'm not buying it.
Yeah.
I'm literally not buying it.
Yeah. So they skip over Halloween, just go straight to.
Do you know who gets the shaft is Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving doesn't get anything because it's all about it's back to school for 15 minutes. Halloween is now apparently, and then Thanksgiving. What's that? Christmas. So we're not.
So we're just not giving. We're just not giving thanks anymore. Oh, that's
no.
Look at the state of this country.
I am, and you are, and our families are. But somebody in the retail land decided that we're not going to give it any. Never mind. So anyway,
probably not enough Thanksgiving toys. That's a problem.
That's true.
They can't sell.
There should be more Thanksgiving toys. Anyway,
yeah.
So I just wanted to share with you, you like my haircut, right? It looks good. It looks better than it used to. Right?
Stunning. I'm almost at a loss of words. That's why I'm saying stunning over and over and over again. Stunning.
Like we were talking about before, we like to shout out local businesses who are doing great stuff, and I wanted to share a great experience that I had at a hair cutting place in Manhattan Beach called Svelte. Actually, they're amazing. They're a barbershop and essentials. They have full service for anything you might need when it comes to your grooming needs. And with Gorky, who actually was the gentleman who's cut my hair for me. So we're going to write it. Yeah, his name's Gorky. Actually, there's a name behind it. It's his father named him after the novelist who wrote Gorky Park.
Gorky Park.
Yes, so very interesting story. But we're going to jump right into it right now. I'm going to share with you quickly our experience over there, how well it went, have a little talk with Gorky, and we'll be right back right after that. Go. Hi, everybody. I'm showing you myself truly real before my haircut at Svelte Hair over in Manhattan Beach to give you a before image of what I look like. Not that it's all that great, but we're going to show you the after we walk into the shop. See you soon.
Welcome to Svelte Barbershop and Essentials. Located in Manhattan Beach and literally 1 block from the ocean, you couldn't dream a better location for all your grooming needs. Enter and immediately feel the beach vibes as you take in the surfboards and wood floors. There's a bar where you can enjoy a beer, shot of bourbon, or cold water while you wait. Svelte carries a full line of grooming essentials to keep your freshly cut hair and groomed beard looking great. The expert hairstylist will take great care of you, and you will leave feeling and looking like $1 million. So, please come in and relax. Svelte will take great care of you. Located at 3213 Highland Avenue, Manhattan Beach.
very cool shot of all this stuff. We have our professional stylist over in the corner, Gorky, who's ready to transform this mop and mane of hair into something great. Hey, Gorky, how long have you been cutting hair?
About 20 plus years now.
Really? Okay. Do you love something special about cutting hair? It's just...
Yeah, I started cutting my own hair in high school, and I just had such a kick out of changing my hair every week almost, and my friends started asking me to do it for them. I just kind of started loving doing it.
Okay.
Making people look good, and
And how can we get hold of you specifically?
How can I get what?
How can we get hold of you
You
specifically?
can go into the shop's website and book me. It's pretty easy, or you can just call us.
Okay, great. Thanks, Gorky. We'll show you the transformation in a few minutes. So the finished product, I'm very pleased. A great haircut from Gorky, like Gorky Park. You will know him when you take a look at the website at Svelte Barbershop and Essentials. Please book him. He's really amazing. Great job, Gorky. Thank you very much.
I believe we are back. Yeah.
We are back. I believe you're right that we are back. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, don't forget to check them out. Svelte Barbershop and Essentials in Manhattan Beach. Great place. You can make an appointment online. Great services. Everyone's super friendly there. It's a really easy, chill place to get your hair dealt with. So
Very cool. I'm looking forward to checking it out.
okay, good. So let's dive into our next topic, Jonathan. You wanted to bring this one up, right?
Yeah, I've been looking at this for a while, just out of general curiosity and from my personal trainer eyes. The biggest name we hear is Ozempic. So just to go to, which is just one brand of
Yes.
this, what they call the GLP-1s, which is glucagon-like peptides, which is actually a hormone. So there's a
Oh.
bunch of drugs that are considered under the umbrella of GLP-1s. So initially, they came up with this drug to combat type 2 diabetes in patients. So, for example, someone might be out for a meal, their blood sugar spikes,
Hmm.
and if they're on one of these GLP-1s, like an Ozempic, what would happen is it would influence the body to make insulin to knock that sugar back down. So that was the original plan, and it worked like a charm. And patient after patient discovered they were losing weight. So they were happy about that as well. And so they probably told two friends, doctors told doctors, nurses, and the word spread. And then they shifted into this can be a weight loss drug. And right there is where you've got to be careful. And again, we're not scientists,
Hmm.
but we're in very early days right now. And if we look, one of the things that I am concerned about with pharmaceutical companies is they have to spend a lot of money to get a drug to market,
Absolutely.
right? And as we know, like the worst example of abuse is like the Sackler family, who got everyone hooked on opioids. But there are other companies that if they've spent, close to $1 billion or whatever it is, and they have shareholders, they may pay their scientists to come to findings that are in their favor. So, because they want to get to market, and maybe
Yeah.
they've heard, once the buzz gets around their industry, there might be another company that wants to make a drug and get to market first. So this
Mhm.
rush to the market means we're rushing the testing and the experiments and the clinical trials and all of that jazz. And that's not a good way of blowing up your jazz, Tony,
Nope.
baby.
Nope.
Excuse me. So that is one of my concerns. Uh, one of the ways that they work is when you eat a meal, these GLP-1s will slow down the food moving from the stomach to the small intestine. So you end up feeling, you start feeling fuller sooner
Mm.
because this
Mm.
slow digestion process is happening. And then you feel fuller for longer because it's taking longer for this food to digest. So just doing the easy math, you will probably take in less food per day because you're not as hungry throughout the day, hence the weight loss, and then everyone gets excited. So
Yeah.
that's one of the, and then here's one part that kind of gets weird, and then I'll throw it over to you.
Sure.
The other thing the drug will do is it goes up to a certain region of the brain, and convinces you that you've reached satiety, which means you are satiated, you are full. Now, at first I thought, I don't know if I want a drug heading to my brain and telling me how I feel. However, the GLP-1 is a hormone, and we all know, hormones can affect our moods. Like your husband can be awful when his hormones are out of whack. Just kidding.
Well, okay, so here's one thing. I had no idea it was a hormone at
Mm,
all. I also didn't realize that it actually can affect and go to your brain to send a
mhm.
signal out, correct?
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yes.
Wow.
From what, yeah. And that's kind of as deep as where I wanted to go with the science. There are some side effects, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, but they find
Yeah.
if they lower the dose and ease you in, most people don't have a problem with that. But I have to check here. It has been known to cause thyroid tumors in rats. And they say
Mm.
not on humans so far, but again, it's the early days. I don't want to rush this stuff.
I hear you, and here's why it concerns me so greatly is because Hollywood took it over and turned it into a miracle drug to lose weight, which for me is completely the wrong message for what this drug was
Hmm.
intended for. It was
Hmm.
intended to help people with type 2 diabetes, I believe,
Hmm.
right?
Yes. Yes.
And it kind of took over, and we talked about, we could actually talk about how there was a limited supply to people that actually needed it, not for weight loss but for the treatment of diabetes,
Cor- correct. Correct.
which kind
Yeah.
of pisses me off a little bit. And
Get pissed, Donnie, baby.
well,
Damn
it's
it.
like, okay, we're very fortunate to not need this. We're
Yes.
very fortunate because also the other thing I question is, you're a trainer, you're
Yeah.
healthy, you take care of yourself. Why
Right.
can't we also treat an issue like this with good health, good eating habits,
Hmm.
exercise,
Right.
moderation, all those things that
100%.
a bunch of people could be doing rather than the real challenge that I hear also is that the states are actually an obese nation now. We're
Hmm.
leading the country or the world with obesity
Right.
because of that's a whole other ball of wax and how we got there
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I dug into this a little bit too. So I was looking at that. One thing that's interesting to me, and on the drug pharma side, was that of course there's huge profits to be made from this.
Right.
And what I've seen and did a little looking into, Forbes actually had a great article which was sharing that the insurance companies do cover it when it comes to weight loss or treating diabetes. But
Hmm.
some people we're going to feel the pinch soon because what's going to happen is because of its popularity, the cost is going to increase exponentially. So what's interesting, some statistics for us here, is that when it comes to insurance companies and businesses covering the cost of treatment and diabetes weight loss, there's a 15% spike in diabetes treatment. But get this, there's a 78% spike for weight loss. So what's
That
happening
seems a
is
little out of balance, doesn't it?
well, hugely out of balance. It's
Hmm.
4 times the amount of people are taking this drug to treat weight loss when in fact they could get a personal trainer,
Hmm.
they could actually moderate how they eat, they could actually do things. So this is kind of like a quick fix. And as
Yeah.
you were saying, we don't know enough
Hmm.
about this drug yet. It's
Yeah.
new.
Yeah.
How long has it been? It's been around not that long, actually.
Yeah. I
I don't
didn't.
need
I did read that, but I would get that wrong on a test because I forget.
But that's okay. But here's the other thing: the
Yeah.
cost is huge. So I went and looked. Novo
Hmm.
Nordisk, who is the parent drug company, makes Ozempic, which is right
Hmm.
now $935 a month. For there's another one called Wegovy. Have you heard of
Ooh.
Wegovy? I've
Yep.
heard of
Yep.
it.
Yep. Yep. Go. Be seen
Thirteen
the
hundred
ad.
and $49 a month. 1350 a month for that, and
Wow.
that's I think that's prior pre insurance costs. But then
Hmm.
there's also Lilly. Lilly's another huge pharma company that makes this thing, and they make something called Manjaro, which is
Yes,
another
Manjaro. Yeah.
GLP-1. So we've always
Yep.
heard these names, but I'm learning more about it after you
Hmm.
educated me a bit. But also costs from Lilly, 1,069 per month on that one. There's a newly
Wow.
FDA approved knockoff called Zepbound, which is still
Hmm.
1,050 a month.
And it's a
So
knockoff. Okay.
it's kind of a knockoff. It's one that actually doesn't require as much hoop jumping
To get it,
to get
or yeah,
it's
that's
yeah.
scary
So
too.
we're making it
That,
easy. But here's the
yeah.
kicker for all of it because I kind of I dove into this quickly. Um, these two companies, Novo Nordisk and Lilly, were the biggest producers of insulin
Oh,
prior to this. So
the
they
hell,
actually,
say? Really?
yes, so they were the biggest producers of insulin for treatments. So
Oh,
now they're the biggest producers of these GLP-1s because they had to find a way, because insulin was actually bringing health issues down.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So now they actually had to find a new drug, which are these GLP-1s, to
For weight
supplement
loss.
their loss.
Yeah,
And how much
yeah.
does big pharma make? Billions upon billions upon billions,
I think
right?
they look at it as they can make more.
Oh yeah, that's
And
absolutely, you're right.
we got a capitalist society, which is a good society, but they are free to do um, what they're doing. And I think and I think you feel the same way. You can have people at one end of the spectrum that have tried everything. They've tried diet, they've gone to the gym, the trainers, they've done all the right things, and they're just
Mm-hmm.
not getting that weight
Mm-hmm.
off. So this comes along, and I can understand them doing it. Then at the other spectrum, you have other end of the spectrum. You can have people that have done nothing. They eat poorly, they're on the couch, and this thing came along. And I think it's important that we say we don't throw shade or shame on any of those people
Oh
from
no.
either side and in the middle. Like it is a food addiction, and you and I are lucky we don't have it.
Mm.
So, but it also goes to show that, and I'm going to sort of dance outside the lines for a sec here. We're seeing a lot of stuff with this positive body image stuff, and in the plus
Yeah.
size and all that stuff. And that is all good until it gets to the point that it's unhealthy. And you
Mm.
have to talk about health at that time. So if you are obese and it's hard on your heart and hard on your joints and your organs and it's not good for you, it's irresponsible to say, just call yourself curvy and buy a designer clothing to make you look good and be proud and all that stuff. That's, to me, again, it's my trainer mind. I'm all about
Mm.
health and longevity and have people live longer. But coming back inside the lines, the fact that it is so popular really lets all of us know how unhappy a lot of people are with being overweight and with being obese because they're willing to take the chance and they're willing to pay the thousands per month. So that's a serious issue that we should be
Yep.
talking about, you know? And if I mean, we could also go into the fact that we have such horrible food put out by big food right now that is similar to
Yes.
cigarettes, where there's so much sugar and shit in there to make you addicted to it.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find if you have a soda, like if you have a sorry, Coke, but if you have a Coca Cola, Pepsi, and you down that thing, you're not like, I'm not thirsty anymore. No, you want another one, and
Mm-hmm.
then you want another one. So you're not quenching any thirst with, and all that sugar. If you don't burn it, it is stored as fat. So they're making us fat. But
Yeah.
now we got this drug to make you unfat. Like it is just horrible. But they're allowed to do it because commerce and economics. I get all that, but these doctors that are so quick to just prescribe when they should be saying, why don't you cut out the grains? Why don't you go low carb? Why don't you do this? And holding their patients to it. And of course, there are many doctors that do that, but there are a lot that just get out that notepad and prescribe.
Yep. Yep. And I think I very seldom hear, because I know a couple people who actually started Ozempic, but I have one friend who you know also who actually was very intelligent about the way he approached this. And
Hmm.
he decided to see an endocrinologist first
Good
to see
idea.
where exactly he was at, and
Hmm.
also started with the lowest dosage possible. But prior to
Hmm.
that, actually met with a nutritionist also to say, okay, how am I going to learn to eat differently rather than
Right.
just rely on this drug and an injection to say, oh, I don't feel hungry anymore?
Hmm.
Why not
Hmm.
learn how to eat better or more
Yeah.
healthy
Yeah.
first and put
Yeah.
some habits in front of you before
Yeah.
you get that shot, which can also help you. Now this person
Hmm.
also had diabetes as diagnosed, so they were hesitant to actually go there. But I think they took the best approach by getting
Yeah.
educated on how they can make changes in their life that isn't reliant only upon this drug.
Yeah.
So,
And you have to educate yourself. We only go around once. as cliche as that sounds, but you got to give a shit about yourself. So you do it the responsible
Yeah.
way, because you can't just say, well, if the FDA said the government cares about me. Eh, not all of it. And these pharmaceutical companies, like you said, how much money is enough? And it's not. It's
I don't think it's
endless.
ever enough. And you bring up a very good point previously about seeing whether or not certain companies would push the research to get them favorable results to allow them to. And I'm not saying this is the
Mhm.
case, but I
Right,
did see
right,
the
right.
same. I did see the special on that family that actually was horrifically
Oh, they
uh,
should be locked under the
evil in the
jail.
way that they did
Oh,
this.
pure evil, and they should be locked under the jail forever and
Something
ever.
else that you talked about capitalism too, which is interesting. And what I learned was there was a little fallout from this whole drug too, which was,
Oh, here we go.
remember,
Let's tuck in, everybody. What do you got?
Noom, Weight Watchers, Jenny Craig, all of them have seen a huge decline in their memberships because why would I go to Jenny Craig or learn a new way to eat or change or get points or whatever when I can get a
Yeah,
shot?
the
I
path
don't
of
have to
least
dedicate
resistance.
anything.
What's easier?
Yes.
What's easier? Yeah, and
So
that's
so
too bad,
those
because yeah.
and those companies, I don't know much about them individually, but they actually have a way of, also it's behavioral, I believe, is the way that they work, like changing
Right.
your habits, which
Mm-hmm.
lead eventually to a more healthy result. So
Yeah.
that was another fallout that took place in there too. So I mean, we didn't realize that it actually was hurting. So what's happening with some of these companies, like Weight Watchers, for example, they're taking on AI programs and they buy health net companies now, so you can actually go on and talk with someone about your health.
Mm-hmm.
So they're
Mm-hmm.
still trying to steer you away from taking a shot. And again,
Mm-hmm.
I think we started the whole thing. If you are diabetic, you've been diagnosed, absolutely, these GLP-1s can be helpful.
Oh
So I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah.
there's still a
Yep.
place for them. But
Yep.
yeah, you know what
Well, it's like,
else?
oh, here we go.
No, no, don't go ahead. What were you going to say?
It's gone. Go.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, the other thing, because now you got me. I got a little upset because I remember seeing the special you talked about, and this family that
Oh,
did this stuff.
excuse me.
Here's the thing: misuse of this drug is next,
Ah, yeah, yeah, yeah.
because
You want it
imagine
faster?
everybody wants it. So imagine
Mm-hmm.
if yeah. So maybe, oh, zero point 0.5 is really a good dose, but I'm not seeing it happen. Why not just up it to 10 or
Oh yeah, yeah.
2.25?
Oh yeah.
So there,
I got a wedding in 6 months. I need it now. I need
yeah,
more.
rather
Yeah.
than go to Press Juicery, subtle hit, and go through a juice cleanse,
Yeah.
which is relatively healthy, and like fasting and intermittent fasting with juices and those things can actually get you to a certain place. Rather
Mm-hmm.
than do that, why not up my dosage so I can get there faster, supposedly?
Right.
But what's happening is call centers for poison control center hotlines are getting more calls for people ODing or overdosing or serious side effects from the use of this because they're not following the regime. So there's a lot of fallout from
Oh
this.
my God, you just
Yeah.
answered a mystery that has been nagging at me for months now. And I'm sure my wife is okay if I share this, but a few months back, she had her liver was poisoned, and it turned out
Mm.
to be sort of like a tainted vitamin supplement. So we got off that and moved on, and thank God the universe and
Mhm.
the good men and women and pronouns at Kaiser. But while we were in the waiting at the emergency, so we were there for 6 hours, and there's not a lot to do. I don't spend my whole time on the phone, but I was just watching people come in, right? So at first, I'm like a cop doing the profile. It was mostly black, Latino, white, and Asian at this one. And I would say everyone, this is not judgy, this is just what it is. Everyone other than myself, Sonia, and an Asian family was overweight. And
Mhm.
we were standing right beside the window where everyone was checking in. 90% of people came in complaining about stomach issues. At
Really.
first I thought, did they all go to the same party? But no, they were all from very different walks of life. And I
Mhm.
wonder if this is what this shit was. Is the gut problems from, I don't know. It's
It,
weird. I mean, I expected, sorry to interrupt, but there was no, not that I wanted to see gunshot wounds. I didn't see any blood, any head injuries. It was all just, and the woman doing the intake, people would stand there, and then she would say, she started just telling him, "Oh, you got symptoms of the blah 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 blah." I mean, maybe there's a stomach virus at the time, but I don't know.
Hmm.
I just don't know.
Well, back to the bigger discussion of nutrition, it could be
Hmm. Well,
Chick-fil-A. I don't mind saying
yeah.
it. It could be all of the processed foods that people are pushing right now. And I'm sure we will not be sponsored by Chick-fil-A. But I mean, this
Yeah.
processed food is just not good for us. And
Oh, it's awful.
you're right. It could be a number of things. But
It's awful.
yeah, I mean, don't get me started on the fact that also a lot of minorities cannot get insurance to
Hmm.
cover the treatment
Hmm.
that they do need, and
Sure.
sometimes they'll go to a black market for drugs that are knockoffs of
Right. Good
Ozempic. Or
point.
this is a massive issue here, and I think I know we were gonna unpack it, and I think we've unpacked it pretty well because
Yeah.
there's a lot to deal with it. But
Hmm.
again, I'm concerned about the misuse. But here's the thing: they're creating these amazing results by possibly creating new patients for the side effects. So, you know what I mean? They might be creating these drugs to
More
create the side
customers.
effects
Yeah.
to get more customers, and it's like one of those crazy circles.
Yeah.
And again, we're not conspiracy theorists, anyone. I promise you, we're not. We're not doctors. We're not medical technicians in any regard. But we also can plainly see there's a challenge or an issue with this.
Yeah.
So if something's too good to be true,
It just
it's
might
probably too good
be.
to be true. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So I don't know. I think obesity needs to be dealt with more than just new drugs.
Yeah.
There's other
And we
ways
need
to
to
do it.
change our community attitude about this stuff. We should all
Yeah.
want to get healthy and be honest with that family member that's, had a little too much. Because, hmm, because it does, it's numbing that you're going to pay the price, right? You're going to pay the price. And even if you just do one go around and you do it responsibly, a lot of people are going to fall off this stuff. Or how long do you stay on Ozempic or one of
That's
these other ones, right?
very good question. I have
So if
no
you
idea where
come
that
come
is.
off and you have not changed your habits, you're gonna a lot of people will go back to the bad habits, unfortunately. And whereas you may have lived till 95, you might only make it to 75. Because I
Mm.
mean, this is hard on the organs. This is hard on the heart and lungs and all that stuff. So I know you might think you're young now and it just tastes so nummy, all that shit that you eat at the amusement park, but you got to just try and talk to somebody, get a therapist, get something, get moving, get it rocking.
Yep, I totally
Yeah.
agree with you.
I'm off my
Wow.
soapbox now.
That's a no, no. Hey, we went down there. We told everyone we were going to do it. We did it. We unpacked it. To be determined, I would say, is where we leave it.
Yeah.
You know,
And to
I
be
say we just
continued.
to be continued. Absolutely. Because listen, listen, we need
Yeah,
to talk
listen.
about nutrition. We need to talk about
Yep.
exercise. We need to talk about living longer, which we are doing, but let's
Hmm.
live longer in a good, healthy way. So
Yeah.
I'll get off my
All
soapbox
right.
now.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay.
Okay,
So
man.
thanks for all that, Jonathan. I appreciate that. It was
Thank
really fun
you.
to not. It was interesting to talk about it, and as you say, to be continued. I think.
Yeah. Good talk, real talk.
Yes. We'll be right back.
All right. Hey, it's me, Jonathan J. Brown. Want to do something cool for your kids? Give them a great story in the form of an audiobook. Kanu, A Boy's Journey, is about a mischievous little boy living in ancient Africa. He embarks on dangerous jungle adventures, talks to animals, and gets into all kinds of zaniness. But wait, there's more. Kanu's second adventure is out now too. It's called Kanu the Brave, and this little dude is seriously brave. So give your kids the gift of adventure. Available at audiobooks.com, barnesandnoble.com, Chirp, Google Play, Baker and Taylor, ODO, Anyplay, Overdrive, ha 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 ha, Books A Million, Milkbox, Nook, or is it Nuke? No, it's Nook. Wheeler's Hoopla, audiobooks.now, Radish, Spotify, Storytel, and so much more. The narrator will now insert a wolf howl.
Welcome back.
Welcome, welcome.
Okay, and I want to let you know that we have a special guest returning to come and see us today. You might have heard about him in the news. You might have heard or read about him in People magazine. You might have read about him in the New York Times. But apparently he's back and he has a message for us. We need to listen. We need to participate.
Mm-hmm.
We need to give him our ears. And I'm going to turn the microphone over to the
The
mayor of
mayor of everywhere.
everywhere.
Yes, just to recap, everybody, the mayor of everywhere is literally the mayor of everywhere. There are no term limits, there are no elections. But you want this mayor, and when he comes to your town or your county or whatever, your sitting mayor usually takes a vacation. The mayor of everywhere finds a problem and fixes it, and he moves on for a cost. Not like a pharmaceutical company, that kind of big bill, like something more reasonable. So this one actually involves you, Donnie, baby,
Oh,
and
oh, oh.
and
This was
and
not
this one is easy.
pre-prepared, audience.
No, Don has no idea. This one is easy for the mayor, and he's actually going to do this one for free
Oh,
because it's an easy fix. So, Don, do you remember when you and your cute little hubs, and shout out to Scott and Michelle, we went, and my wife, we went to Sonoma. Do you remember
yes,
that?
yes,
Okay, good, good.
I do.
And we went wine tasting, and everything was awesome. And then I think it was a Saturday. I don't know what day it was, but we said, let's go out to dinner tonight. And we made a reservation. And then we're
Oh,
back at the house having a good time, right? Now you know where I'm going.
I know.
And we said, oh, you know what? Why don't we just stay in? We got food here, we got wine. And then Don kindly pointed out, okay, family, just so you know, I had to make the reservation with my credit card. And if we don't honor the res, it's $25 per person. And at the time, I did the quick math, and I thought that's $150 that's going to go to the restaurant without them even pouring us glasses or asking if we want flat, still, or sparkling
Yep.
water.
Yep.
So, but we decided, okay, we're having a good time here. Let's not worry about it. Um, I was silently snapping, but I didn't want to make a scene because I just hate the fact that they're getting that money for nothing. However, I understand the economics of what a market will bear. I mean, if they're able to have this policy and get away with it, it means the restaurant must be in high demand.
Hmm.
So I ran this by the mayor of everywhere, and he didn't like it. I didn't like it. We don't like it, but we don't. We're more on the consumer side, but we love restaurants. That's this podcast is about. We're going to be highlighting a bunch of restaurants. So the mayor thought, let's make it fair because he's a fair mayor. He's a mayor that cares. He's a mayor of everywhere.
Fair mare. Fair mare.
God, I almost got through that.
That was good.
Okay, so the goal is to get rid of this policy, but we just don't want to tell him to get rid of it. So the mayor's going to
Hmm.
say, he's come up with is if you invoke this policy by taking people's credit card and charging them this fee for not showing up, they have like if it was our situation, we have actually 25 days to use that reservation. So if we don't go that night, the charge is there. And if we decide to come back in 3 weeks, 21 days within our 25 days, we have a lovely time and we'll let the restaurant keep 25 bucks, but we already have a credit because it's been charged to your card. And then we have a lovely time. If we don't show up within 25 days, they can keep, well, that's kind of high. Forget it. They can keep it. They can keep it. So a lot of them might say, well, that's going to really mess up our reservation system and blah, 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 which is bullshit. And so they might decide, let's just not do this policy because it's too much of a mess keeping track of whose credit card and 25 days, which is the goal. See, that's the secret goal is to have them get rid of this policy. But I don't know what your experience was, but when I told a few people about it, everyone said, oh, yeah, a lot of restaurants are doing that now. I was like, damn. Go, Don.
Just because okay, it pisses me off too, for one thing, Mayor, and I totally agree with you. So I hope you can start some legislation or some kind of movement because I totally agree with you. And why is it that they think they're going to lose money? You can't tell me that very popular restaurant, once we canceled, did not fill up those six
Oh,
chairs
oh,
right
Easily,
afterwards because there was a
easily.
line there. So why do you need
Yeah,
our
exactly.
what
Yeah.
$125? And is it
Well,
more like a slap on the hand, or is it
well, they
because, as you
no,
said, go ahead.
they can get it because they can,
That's
because
what I
they can.
said. Do you
Yeah.
think anyone's ever complained about it? I was going to say bitched about it enough to get that
Oh,
money
I'm
back?
sure.
I,
Probably, but if let's say the 1%, like they will eat anywhere they want. If the
mhm.
word spreads, or let's say the top 30%, if the word spreads that this must be a good restaurant because they actually charge you if you don't show up, then you build this buzz among the elites and they want to go there, and it's hard to get a table there. I mean, it's all the game, right?
Yeah,
But
it's
the mayor's going to say no. If you do that, these guys have let's say they have a month to use this reservation.
I
We
like
probably
it.
wouldn't have. We may not have flown back up there or driven back up to Sonoma per se, but Manhattan Beach or something. Maybe we'd do it.
Well, you know what's going to do, Mayor, to make me think that I'm not going to do that again. At any time a policy that has that, it's like, you know what? Guess what? We're not eating there because,
Yeah.
we're not flaky people. All of us, all of our family together when we were all traveling together, we're not
Mm.
those people. We do show up for reservations. It just turned out that this particular time it
We
didn't
didn't.
happen. Thought you
Yeah.
would have thought they would have said, okay, no problem, cancel. But
Hmm.
I think something needs to be done, and
Yeah.
I completely support your initiative.
Yeah. Well, this was easy for the mayor of everywhere, and like he's not
Aren't
going to
most
charge for
things
this one.
easy for the mayor of everywhere?
That is an excellent point. Yeah. So it's good that he's back, but yeah, that pissed me off. That little policy of
Yeah,
theirs.
I, I completely agree with you. I didn't want to give them money. You can go back and maybe dispute the charges, but I don't know if that would happen. That would work.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
you and Tony went and booked it, right? So I guess they told you at the time, or did they even tell you? Do you know?
no, but I should have paid attention because
Mm.
I think it's state. Obviously, if I had to give a credit card,
Right.
that's the policy. And I bet you, Mayor,
Mm.
that not a single restaurant ever refunds that money if
Right.
they have that policy stated because they don't have to. But where does it
Hmm.
go? Does it get you like more candles, or does it buy silverware, or does it go to? It doesn't go to the servers. That's where it should
That's right. It's
go.
not going to go to the servers or the bartenders. It's going to go just to the
No,
owner.
yeah. So
Not having it.
I
And
need you to fix that for
he's
us.
yeah. Another idea that just popped into the mayor's head. I have him on. Yeah. So he
You're
said,
channeling them right now, right?
yeah, yeah. What they might do is, when you walk up to a restaurant and you just want to look at the menu.
Mm,
Well, maybe there's a policy that if you have this policy where you're going to charge your credit card, people can come and have a margarita while they look at your menu and then
mm,
decide whether or not they're even going to stay. But you ain't charging them for that margarita, baby.
I
Have a marg and look at the menu. I'm out.
I'm liking that even better, Mayor. Mayor of everywhere. Okay, so can we expect the mayor to join us again on future episodes?
Oh yeah, he's going to pop up from time to time. He's on the road a lot, and
Okay.
but he vacays a lot too. So
Okay, I'm sure he does, but he's got to take time off from his time in office to make sure that all
it's
this
not
stuff
easy.
happens for us.
It
Okay.
is not easy.
Okay. Well, we want to thank the mayor for joining us. Good
You're welcome.
stuff.
He says you're welcome.
Okay. Are we ready to close this one down, Jonathan?
Let's wrap it up.
Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode. Join us next time as we share more exciting stories about people, groups, and businesses making a difference, and of course, our thoughts and opinions on everything. Everything. You can find us wherever you download podcasts and all the socials. Please remember to like and subscribe. YouTube is where you can see our bright, shining faces all the time at Life as We Know It, Jonathan and Don. And Instagram at Life as We Know It Podcast 123. And of course on Apple and Spotify podcasts. We'll see you next time. Jonathan, I hope it cools off for you because it's hot out there.
I love it. And I love this podcast.
I love it more. Bye.
Bye.